Hello everyone, good morning. This is Sage live from the 𝐊𝐴𝐴 TV studios, and you are watching the opening bell as inflation worries weigh on the markets. Let us cast an eye over how the market charter is panning out today. And tracking the Wall Street peers, which closed at record highs overnight, ASX 200 touched new intraday at the open today, and the top performing stocks in the index are Iluka Resources and ResMed Inc. And meanwhile, the gold players Gold Road, Ramelius Resources, Silver Lake and Evolution Mining are inching lower amid the gold price downtick ahead of the Fed's meeting this week. On Monday, the global equity markets were mixed, while the US Treasury yields inched up as investors waited for the results of a Fed policy meeting before placing any major bets. And the Dow Jones fell 0.25%, but the S&P 500 gained 0.18%, closing at a record high. And meanwhile, the Nasdaq Composite added 0.74% to close at a record high. The benchmark 10-year yields ticked up 4 basis points on Monday to reach 1.50%, trying to rebound after falling to a 3-month low of 1.43% on Friday. In March, the benchmark yield was trading at a 1-year high of 1.78%. And the bond market is cautious ahead of US Fed's meeting on Wednesday, looking for new indications on when the central bank would likely begin paring back its unprecedented monetary stimulus. The investors would majorly be focusing on the upcoming Fed meeting, which will mark the first time the central bank has set policies since the potential signs of looming inflation and a couple of disappointing job reports. And although the Fed officials have maintained their view of recent price increases as transitory, the market will be looking for signs of when the Fed might potentially begin to pull back its pandemic support. And moving on to our next segment, let us zoom our lens on the Australian share market charter for the day. Taking a look at the energy sector to begin with, Australian energy players such as Woodside Petroleum, Beach Resources and Origin Energy are trading in the green, with crude oil reaching multi-year highs. The energy sector is the leading gainer on the ASX 200 performance today. On Monday, the crude oil prices almost ended flat after the commodity investors drove the prices to their highest levels in over 2 years, anticipating a surge in demand. And the Brent crude settled up 17 cents at approximately $73 US a barrel. On the other hand, the US West Texas Intermediate fell 3 cents and closed at approximately $71 US a barrel after earlier touching US $71.78 per barrel, its highest since October 2018. Let's now take a look at the miners space. The heavyweight miners BHP Group, Rio Tinto and Fortescue Metals Group are trading in the green and notably recovering steel margins, and strong China port prices set seaborne iron ore price up for further gains. Then in the yellow metal space, the Australian gold miners such as De Grey Mining, Evolution Mining, Ramelius, Silver Lake and Northern Star Resources are inching lower today. On Monday, the gold prices slipped as much as 1.7% as investors feared the US Fed might start chalking out a path for scaling back its monetary policy at a 2-day meeting this week. And meanwhile, the Australian tech space is under the spotlight today. The tech-heavy Nasdaq 100 surged 0.91%, closing at a record high of 14,125.8, taking cues from the US, and the Australian technology shares could mimic the momentum of its US peers. The tech shares such as Afterpay, Xero, WiseTech and Altium traded higher during the early market hours. And meanwhile, Nuix shares were down after announcing the departure of both its chief executive and chief financial officers. And now, before I share more of the trending updates, it's time for a short break. We'll be right back after this.
Hi, this is Andy Liu broadcasting from 𝐊𝐴𝐴 Media Studio in Australia, and I'll be hosting the new 𝐊𝐴𝐴 Wellness Show. The half-hour show will cover topics from how wellness as a concept has become even more significant during COVID, to how becoming vegan may improve your health, and much more. We are excited to showcase our live streaming show to our audience of millions overseas and in Australia. Tune in to 𝐊𝐴𝐴 TV and join me.
warm welcome back. This is Sage live from the 𝐊𝐿𝐴𝐼𝐼 studios and you are watching the opening bell. Let us now look at the major newsmakers in the Australian share market today. And beginning with the major update from the insurance player Suncorp Group, who announced that it might face losses to the tune of 50 million Australian dollars on account of claims from the severe weather in Victoria over the weekend. As at 6:30 p.m. Monday, 14th of June, Suncorp has received approximately 3,750 claims, predominantly for property damage, as the full extent of damage caused by the heavy rain, severe winds and flash flooding is still unfolding. And Suncorp expects the claims to rise further in the coming days and weeks. Next up, Crown Resorts said that Oaktree Capital Management has altered its proposal to help the company buy back a few or all Crown shares held by the Consolidated Press Holdings on a selective basis. On Tuesday, the Crown said Oaktree's revised offer was for a $3.1 billion facility consisting of two tranches. And Oaktree proposes that the facility would be used to fund a selective buyback of CPH's shareholdings in Crown. Next up, the nation's largest provider of superannuation fund administration services, Link Administration, has lodged a prospectus for its initial public offering for PEXA, and the company expects the listing to happen in July. According to the company, PEXA continues to lead the transformation of digital property settlement in Australia and now processes more than 80% of property transfers nationally through its platform. Another major update worth pondering over is the embattled tech company Nuix has announced that its Chief Financial Officer Stephen Doyle is being terminated by mutual agreement and will be replaced by interim CFO Chad Barton. And the company has announced that its CEO Rod Vaudrey has given notice of his decision to retire from the company as well. Moving on now to the global online real estate advertising company REA Group said that it had acquired a 34% interest in Simpology for the broking and lending industries for 15 million Australian dollars. And meanwhile, Japara Healthcare hits the near two-year peak on rival $251 million buyout proposal. The company recently announced that it had received a second takeover offer from RSL Care RDNS following an offer from Little Company of Mary Healthcare. Moving on to the next digital consumer credit business, MoneyMe provided a trading update for the month ending 31st May 2021, and the company has reported record originations of 57 million Australian dollars in May 2021. And the group is experiencing significant traction in the newly launched secured vehicle finance innovation AutoPay. Let's now take a look at some news from the shipping industry. Shipbuilder Austal said that it expects earnings before interest and tax for financial year 2021 will now be in the range of $112 million to $118 million, with reduced revenue of approximately $1.55 billion. The change from previously issued guidance is due to delays experienced on programs and associated costs caused by the COVID-19 related border closures, travel restrictions and resourcing challenges that are impacting Austal's shipbuilding operations in Australia and the Philippines. And now, before I share more of the trending updates, it's time for a short break. We'll be right back after this.
New Zealand is unique, and 𝐊𝐼𝐼 TV is here to bring you all the latest news and trending market updates. Streaming across multiple platforms, so no matter where you are, whether it be at the beach or on the farm, you can count on the team here at 𝐊𝐼𝐼 TV to be your home for accessing the latest valuable insights into global issues that are affecting New Zealanders. Subscribe to our channels across YouTube, Facebook, also visit 𝐊𝐼𝐼.co.nz.
Welcome back. This is Sage live from the 𝐊𝐼𝐼 studio and you're watching the opening bell. Let us now take a glimpse at the crypto space, and Bitcoin bounced back again from the lower levels in the cryptocurrency market after Tesla CEO Elon Musk tweeted that his electric car maker could reopen the door to Bitcoin transactions in the future. And Bitcoin climbed above $40,000 on Monday after yet another weekend of price swings, following tweets from Tesla boss Elon Musk, who fended off criticisms over his market influence and said Tesla sold Bitcoin but may resume transactions using it when mining is done with cleaner energy. Other popular cryptos such as Ethereum and Dogecoin also inched up. And recently, in a major boost for cryptocurrency market, El Salvador officially adopted Bitcoin as legal tender after Congress gave nods to President Nayib Bukele's proposal to embrace the digital coin. With this, the Central American nation became the first country in the world to officially adopt Bitcoin as legal currency. And meanwhile, the International Monetary Fund stated that it has economic and legal concerns regarding the move by El Salvador to make Bitcoin a parallel legal tender. To give you some background on the scenario, in yet another cryptocurrency meltdown, Bitcoin prices fell earlier this week, or last week should I say, as officials in the US were able to recover most of the ransom paid to hackers that targeted the Colonial Pipeline, the largest pipeline system for refined oil products in the country. And the recovery of Bitcoin ransom seems to have undermined its libertarian and free of government control case, raising alarms that Bitcoin is not as untouchable and secure as advocated. The recent pullback was widely anticipated after a power-packed rally seen earlier this year, given Bitcoin's history of bouts of deep drawdowns after such rallies. And having said that, the ongoing volatility in the crypto market seems to have given a lesson to investors to only invest the money they can afford to lose without ending up in financial troubles. And overall, cryptocurrencies have been weighed down heavily by the regulatory clampdown in China, and not to mention the tweets from Tesla CEO Elon Musk. And that is all for now in the opening bell. We will be bringing more stock updates in our upcoming live shows, so please stay tuned for more of the live updates on Kalkine TV across the economy, markets and sectors. Sage signing off.